We have this peculiar modern idea that being an empath or being highly sensitive is simply about absorbing the emotions of others. It's seen as a burden, a vulnerability. But I don't mean the surface-level anxiety of a crowded room. That's the easy definition. I mean when you really begin to see the architecture beneath the surface of the world, the deep, often uncomfortable truth of human projection. It's a superpower, yes, but one that demands a price. And here's what nobody tells you. The cost of this awareness is often isolation until you learn the rules of engagement. Do you ever feel like you know things you shouldn't? If you're watching this, you've probably felt that weight, that subtle sense of being too much, simply because you perceive reality at a higher resolution than those around you. Nobody tells you this, but your isolation isn't a flaw. It's a natural consequence of a widening consciousness. You look at social situations and see a theater of masks, a stage play, and you're suddenly the only one who can't remember the script. Do you ever feel exhausted just watching people interact? What if everything we've been taught about connection is backwards? We are told to share everything, but for the highly conscious soul, this is where the danger begins. The hidden truths aren't hidden from you. They are truths you must learn to hide from the world out of necessity for self-preservation. Your sensitivity is a sign of awakening, not a weakness. I want to reveal the 5 hidden truths that sensitive people must protect. Let me share 5 hidden truths about your sensitivity that change the entire game. Truth number 1, the perception of the lie is physical. The first thing you must understand is that your system doesn't just register emotion, it registers the lie. It processes the vibration of the contradiction. You are reading the subtext, the shadow narrative, which is often louder than the voice. Think of it as a stage play. Everyone is reading the script. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? But you can see the actor's inner anguish. You sense the fatigue, the resentment, the unspoken agenda. You often leave these interactions feeling poisoned because you've consumed their projected performance. You aren't meant to fix their contradiction. You are meant to recognize it and protect yourself from carrying it. And that's the secret. Your headache is a truth detector. The second, and even more important truth, is that your simple, authentic clarity is an actual threat to the social equilibrium of the average person. The vast majority of human connection is built on a collective unconscious agreement to maintain the illusion. Your consciousness, your ability to see through the masks, challenges their sleep. The simple analogy is the finger pointing at the moon. The moon is the truth. You are the finger pointing directly at it, saying, look there. But everyone else is comfortable looking at the finger, because looking at the moon requires them to leave the comfortable darkness of the cave. When you refuse to participate in the communal lie, when you refuse to be drawn into drama, you are essentially telling the other person, I see your game, and I choose not to play. This makes them uncomfortable. They feel seen in a way they're not ready for. This is why your biggest challenge isn't dealing with their issues, it's dealing with their discomfort in the face of your truth. The third thing, which is perhaps the most insidious trap, is the need to explain your truth. You feel and see so much depth, and you assume that if you just use the right words, the person who's struggling will finally understand. This is a profound error of the spirit. It's like trying to pour the ocean into a teacup. Your truth is the ocean, vast, deep. Their capacity for understanding based on their current consciousness is the teacup, beautifully shaped, but limited. When you try to force the ocean into the teacup, you don't fill the cup, you simply spill the ocean. You drain your resources. This explains why you can spend an hour talking to someone about a philosophical point, only to have them ask a question that proves they didn't hear a single word. Watch what happens in nature. The tide doesn't force itself onto the land that doesn't want it. It simply recedes and remains itself. The wisdom lies not in explaining, but in embodying. If they can't see the ocean, they will never understand the ocean. And the fourth, the most critical truth of all, is the reframe of your need for solitude. Society calls it antisocial or cold. But for the highly sensitive soul, solitude is not rejection. It is required maintenance. It is the non-negotiable act of weeding your spiritual garden. You are a deep well. When you interact, you absorb. If you never take the time to let the muddy water settle, to allow the noise and projections of others to fall away, you can never see your own reflection clearly. Your time alone isn't a luxury, it's the compost for your wisdom. This is where your strength is rebuilt, where your boundaries are defined. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose stillness over noise. The sensitive person must learn to be fiercely protective of the inner chamber, the deep silence, because that is the birthplace of your clarity. The fifth and final hidden truth is about the shadow. Everything we label as bad, our anger, our sharp judgment, our capacity for withdrawal, these elements contain the energy we need to truly live and to set impenetrable boundaries. When you're highly sensitive, you are often praised for being nice or giving. But the truth is, you need the energy of the shadow, the righteous no, to protect your light. The anger and frustration you feel when you are being drained is simply the raw, unrefined energy of your self-protection mechanism. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are simply a consciousness that is awake. And the sensitive soul must cultivate a strong inner warden, a guardian of the threshold, to keep the teacups out of the ocean. So here we are, back to where we started, looking at the truth of your isolation. All of these points connect because they point to a single essential lesson: self-sovereignty. Your sensitivity is the sign that you are meant to live a life governed by your own inner truth, not by the expectations of the collective. You were never meant to be a simple mirror of the world. You are meant to be a lighthouse. A lighthouse stands firm, emits its light, and lets others navigate by its presence. The beautiful secret is this: the more fiercely you protect your solitude, your garden, your ocean, the more clarity, peace, and authentic connection you will find when you choose to engage. You are not failing. You are simply awake. Shift your perspective. What others call a flaw, you must reframe as the wisdom of discernment. The next time you find yourself exhausted or tempted to over-explain your truth, I want you to remember this garden. Remember the ocean and the teacup. Remember what we've explored today and give yourself the ultimate permission to be the guardian of your own quiet kingdom. You are not here to absorb the world's pain. You are here to radiate your own truth. This is the dance we're all part of. And so the journey continues, in the quiet and in the wisdom you keep hidden.